everyone, I am Begaso and welcome to English 115 or Mythology and Folklore class. And today I will going to share to you one of the famous stories in Japanese mythology entitled The Hare of Inaba, told to children by Mrs. T.H. James in 1892. But before that, let's have first some pre-activity. And this activity is called Guess What?
Pre-activity.
I will show you some pictures and then you will going to guess what it means. And I will only give you 15 seconds to think. So are you ready? If yes, let's start.
Number 1. Japanese mythology.
So the answer is Japanese mythology.
Number 2. The Hare of Inaba.
So the answer is the Hare of Inaba. So good job to those who get the answers and another good job to those who try to get the correct answers. So let's proceed to our main topic. Are you ready guys? If yes, let's start.
The Hare of Inaba, told to children by Mrs. T.H. James in 1892.
For the information of everybody, The Hare of Inaba was considered to be the first Japan love story and comes from the ancient Japanese records known as Kojiki or the records of ancient matters. The characters of the story are the hare or the usagi in Japanese term, the crocodiles or the wani in Japanese term, the 80 brothers, Okuninushi, and Princess Yakami of Inaba. And this story takes place in the land of Inaba in Japan. So, let's start with the main story.
The Hare of Inaba, told to children by Mrs. T.H. James in 1892.
Long time ago, in the land of Uzumu, there were 81 brothers who were princes in the land. They were all jealous in one another, each one wishing to be king, to rule over the others and over the whole kingdom. Besides that, each one wanted to marry the same princess. Her name was Princess Yakami of Inaba.
The 81 brothers made up their mind that they would go together to Inaba, and each one tried to persuade the princess to marry one of them. Although 80 of these brothers were jealous of one another, yet they all agreed in hating and being unkind to the 81st brother named Okuninushi, who was a good and gentle and did not like their rough, quarrelsome ways.
When they set upon their journey, they made the poor 81st brother to walk behind them and carry their bags, just as if he had been their servant. Although he was their own brother, and as much as a prince as any of them all. On the way to Inaba, the large group of brothers eventually reached Cape Keta, and there they saw a peerless hare lying down very sick and miserable. The hare asked their help, but instead of helping, the 80 brothers decided to play a cruel prank. They advised the hare to bathe in the sea water.
The 80 queens said to the hare, "We will tell you what you should do. Go and bathe in the sea water, and then lie down on the slope of a high mountain and let the wind blow upon you. That will soon make your beard grow, we promise you."
Believing the words of the prince, the hare did as was told, but the wind and sun dried out and cracked its skin, causing it even worse pain. Afterwards came the 81st brothers, staggering under the weight of the heavy bag, heard the pitiful cries of the hare. He questioned what had happened and then listened to its story.
Just stop a moment and I will tell you all my story. I was in the island of Oki and I wanted to cross over to this land. I didn't know how to get over, but at last I hit upon a plan. I said to the sea crocodiles, "Let us count how many crocodiles there are in the sea and how many hares there are in the land. And now to begin with, the crocodiles, come every one of you and lie down in a row across from this island to Cape Keta. Then I will step upon each one and count you as I run across. When I have finished counting you, We can count the hares, and then we shall know whether there are most hares or most crocodiles.
As the crocodile lined up, the hare jumped from crocodile to crocodile, counting each one. Just before it leaves the mainland, it boasted about tricking the crocodile, so the final crocodile bit off the hare's spear.
Ha 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 ha! You silly crocodiles! I don't care how many of you there are. I only wanted a bridge to get across by. Oh, why did I boast until I was safe on dry land? For the last crocodile, the one which lay at the very end of the row, seized me and flocked off all my gear.
After hearing the story, the 81st prince first reprimanded the hare for its trickery. Then, being a kind young man, the Prince of Kuninushi gave it instruction that would actually heal its wound.
Go quickly now to the river. It is quite near. Wash yourself well with the fresh water. Then take the fallen cattle growing on the river bank. Spread it about on the ground and roll among it. If you do this, your skin will heal and your beard grow again.
Doing so, the hare's pain was soothed and it soon completely healed. In gratitude, the hare gave a prophecy that the princess of Inaba would choose the youngest prince over all of his brothers.
As for those 80 princes, your brothers, they shall not get the princess of Inaba. Although you carry the bag, yet your highness shall at last get both the princess and the country.
When he finally arrived where his brothers were, the princess told the elder brothers that she would have nothing to do with any of them, but would only marry the kind Okuninushi. Though the older brothers were angry, the youngest prince Okuninushi had happily obtained the heart of the princess. Then he was made king of the country, and they lived happily ever after.
Themes. The themes of the story are cruelty, trickery, punishment, kindness, and love.
So it is cruelty because in the story, the 80 brothers decided to do some cruel things to their 81st brother Okuninushi, which they let their 81st brothers to walk behind them and carry their bags just as if he had been their servant. The 80 brothers also did some cruel things to the hare because instead of helping the hare to cure its wound, they decided to play a cruel prank causing the hare to feel even worse pain. So it is also trickery because in the story, the hare made some tricky plans to the crocodiles that would help him cross the island of Inaba. It is also punishment because as a punishment to the hare, the crocodile took off his spear after knowing that they had been tricked by the hare in order to cross to the island of Inaba. And as a punishment also to the 80 brothers who became cruel to their 81st brother Okuninushi, the princess did not choose any one of them but instead chose the 81st brother Okuninushi, who was a kind and gentle. Lastly, the story talks about kindness and love because in the story, the kind Okuninushi helped the hare to be cured, and because of his kindness, the hare gave him a prophecy that the princess of Inaba would choose him among all of his brothers. And because of the affection of Princess Yakami to Okuninushi, she chose Okuninushi to be her husband and to become the king of her country. And after that, they live happily ever after.
Lesson. Don't do unto others what you don't want others do unto you. By Confucius.
So, this means that if we don't want the same things happen to us, we should avoid to do it also, because there is always a karma that awaits for us. Just like in the story, the hare made some tricky plans to the crocodile that would help him cross the island of Inaba. But when the crocodile knows that he was just being tricked by the hare, they pluck off the hare's spear. So, as a karma to the hare, when he asked the help of the 80 brothers to cure its wound, the 80 brothers also did some cruel pranks to the hare, causing the hare to feel worse pain. So that's all guys, thank you for listening. I hope that you have learned from my discussion.
Thank you and stay safe.
Evaluation. Direction. Choose the letter of the correct answer. And kindly send your answers through personal message on my FB account. Thank you.